Life is one of the heaviest beings that one can try to support. It is known to go through storms, heavy winds, and downpours. But you are built to stand and not collapse. I challenge you to grow out of your comfort zone. The biggest giant that you will ever face in life is your mindset. One of the biggest things that limit us and keep us defeated is the opinion that we have of ourselves. When I changed my mind, it changed my life. I didn't just survive, I bounced back better. I bounced back better. Bounce 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 back better.
You're now listening to LifeStruction with Eric.
Welcome to the LifeStruction with Eric podcast. I am your host, Eric. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Take the time and hit that share button. Share out this stream. Share it out. Tell all of your people to connect. We have a great discussion that we're going to dive into this evening. It's a great discussion, a discussion that's very much needed. Hope everyone's week is going well. But yeah, we're going to be talking today about healthy versus toxic relationships, whether it being on the job, families, with Christ, whatever that connection may be, we're going to be chatting about that today. And I have a good brother that I met a few months ago. I met him during the Celebration of Authors event that we did. He was one of the authors, and I connected with him and just love his vibe, love his knowledge, the way that he flows. He's very, very mature in the word, and I just love the way that he dissect things. So I'm not going to delay any further. We're going to welcome Dr. Cortez Sims to the LifeStruction fam. How's it going, Doctor?
Fantastic. Thank you, Brother Eric. Mr. Eric Winfield, how's it going today? And everybody else?
Man, it's going well, man. It's going well. So happy to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for cutting your workday short so you can connect with me. I don't take that lightly. So I definitely thank you for being on. First of all, before we dive in, let's talk about exactly who is Dr. Cortez Sims. Let the LifeStruction family in a little bit on who exactly you are and what is it that you do.
Well, I am a young man with an old soul, they say. I am a young man who just loves people, and I love life, and I love to be able to give back to a community of people that is disturbed by being stagnant, and love to live life to the fullest and just be the best version of themselves. I'm a native of Chicago. Of course, I'm wearing a Chicago shirt today, so oh my God, it just so happened. But I am a barber salon owner, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a certified mental health coach. I'm an author as well as an educator, and I have a PhD in pastoral counseling. And I've been able to be utilized quite a bit in these different areas over the years, 25 years plus and counting. And I'm just great to feel great just to serve many people in the best way possible as part of my purpose and destiny.
Definitely. Well, what I love, I see what you're doing. I see how you're trying to, minister to people, help bring about change. A lot of times,
Thank you.
we have those degrees and we don't use them to the extent of, the knowledge that we attain when we got those degrees. So it means a lot to see that you're, giving back, giving back that knowledge and going out and ministering to people and being able to bring change, to people that's broken and, need assistance in growing. So that's a beautiful thing.
Thank you,
Beautiful
sir.
thing. So I definitely applaud you on that. Um, so as I stated, we're going to be chatting about recognizing healthy versus toxic relationships. So let's jump right in. Have you experienced any toxic relationships? And if so, how did you grow out of it?
The answer is yes. I have experienced toxic relationships in different arenas, within marital, casual relationships, family, friends, business relationships. So I've had a nice myriad of different toxicity in different areas. And the way that I've been able to grow out of them, it took some time. It actually took some time to recognize what is toxic and what is considered healthy. And I had to really get to the root of why was these things going on around me. Why did I become attached to it? Is it something that I'm drawn to? And what do I need to do to stay away from? And that took a lot of analyzing, self assessments, and also um, turning up my love level within myself to love myself enough to connect to people who are considered healthy, that do not live in places of toxicity. And if they have, they don't live there anymore. And I want to really, really see what it is like to be around them. So I had to make a lot of different adjustments over the years, and fall in love with staying there with the maintenance that goes with it. So, it's a process, but it's definitely something that we can do. And we could put some systems in place that can keep the maintenance going so you can stay toxic free.
Mm, yeah, I like that. I like that. Uh, but I heard you say one of the things that you did, you had to learn to love yourself, and I guess that goes with kind of something we gonna I think that's one of my questions for later. Basically, when you're working on your own self, basically, you're able to identify, these toxic traits.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Absolutely.
what do you consider a healthy relationship?
I consider a healthy relationship, and first of all, there's when it's not one-sided, when there is a rhythm that is understood between both sides contributing, and not one side is taking and then the other side is giving. I
Mm,
also, what is considered a healthy relationship is when we promoting nutrition, and that goes for a myriad of things. When you're able to promote, this is what's good for you, this is what's going to help you grow, this is what's good for your body, this is what you need to diet from and diet
mm,
with and exercise, and really, really make this applicable to your everyday life. And that goes in so many different diversions of areas or whatever relationship it is. And that's something that you can really maintain the healing component versus from a reactionary place. You can really work on this from a proactive place and do a lot of preventative things so you will not fall into something that's toxic, which goes into the toxicity part. So staying healthy is, I'd like to kind of identify it as in the root word of heal. Whatever that promotes healing means nutrition, something that can keep you in a well balanced place so you can have a great wellness check and check up on yourself.
yeah. Man, you said learning what it is that we need to diet from.
Correct.
I love how you put that together, because what I'm hearing is, you know, just like in life in general, if we stop eating certain stuff, if we stop jabbing at certain stuff and we do it long enough, we finally come to the realization that we can do without it because it was no good for us in the first place. So,
Correct.
man, I love how you said we have to learn to diet from certain things. I'm gonna have to steal that one.
I
Yeah.
like to dissect words, brother Eric. I like to dissect words because as a kid, I was really drilled into being a part of spelling bees and things like that, and learning a lot of different terms and definitions. And I had parents that they used to drill us as children to really study dictionaries for a long time. And so, even within the word diet, you have to diet to some things. So the word junk food is there for a reason. It's junky for you. Although that we can become attached to things that is junky or too much sugar or very fattening and very oily, very greasy. Well, that also goes into our regular relationships too as well. If it doesn't bring any nutrition, and it's because usually the things that is good for us, we fight against the most because
Come
we
on.
spend too much time. You
Yeah.
know, the stuff that's good for us, like salads and low fat things, and less sugar, no salt, and things like that. We usually like, oh, no, no, give me all the other stuff that's bad for me because of my appetite, because of my addiction, and because of what I used to have. And a lot of the stuff is what was passed down to us. My greens are not good because greens are good. But
Right.
some people
Right.
cannot eat greens because they have to have fatty stuff in there and certain oil,
Yeah.
because this is because of the taste. And if we can learn how to decipher, I know that this is something that's a more of an appetite that I have versus what is good for me. Now, does this bring nutrition, or is this the part that kind of separate the waste? Because waste only separates what's not good for the body. And so
Yeah.
we can apply it for so many different things that goes from what is healthy and what is toxins.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah.
You know?
Yes, sir. Man. So uh you almost kind of answered my next question uh with what you just said there. Because basically, we've all experienced that working in an environment where we all have to literally pray before we go to work,
Oh yeah.
because we feel like our work environment is so toxic. How do we build a wall around a toxic environment in the workplace and to try to keep our sanity?
Well, one of the things that you could do is, once you identify if you was sent to that place, all jobs that are offered to us is simply this. Will you accept the offer? You won't know what you're getting into until you get there. But a lot of times, the telltale signs, or the red flags, as we like to call it, are clear indicators before we even get in there. Is this something that I can put myself into? Can I put myself in this type of environment, because I will be the minority in the majority? So in this type of setting, will this be a place that I will have nutrition that can feed who I am, feed my gifts and my talents, and what I can contribute to this joint effort team? But once I get there, probably I would say the best way that I've been able to do, that I can just kind of give today, is you have to kind of go back to, is this a place that I accepted an assignment to be here? And if this is more of an assignment place for my job, job, is okay, I need to protect my sanity. I need to protect my integrity. And a lot of times it takes a lot of things to be like, hey, let me just stick to my primary reason why I am here. I'm only here to perform a task and to leave. Our problem is, if it's a toxic place that we discovered, then we don't know how to not feel as if, hey, I'm deserving of something else. Our faith get real low, and we go, well, I don't think I can do better than this. So we make ourselves or force ourselves to stay in a place that we know is very toxic, versus protecting our sanity, our emotional status, and how we are as a person. If not, then we'll be very, very contaminated by the toxins, which makes it a toxic person, because this place is very toxicated all around me. So I would say that even if you have a car or vehicle, prayer life, whatever it takes to meditate before you go into this environment, those are things that you can do to kind of prepare yourself. The whole preparation of this environment that I'm entering into, I would do this until I'm preparing myself to go otherwise. Because if not, then you'll find yourself making yourself stand into a place that your gift and talents are not welcome in, and that's not healthy for anyone.
Right. Right. So uh basically what I hear you saying is sometimes we get these jobs, and in so many words, uh, God is not going to place us somewhere. Um, he's not going to place us in a toxic work environment. So sometimes it's almost like we accept the job before we pray about its job for us, or we don't really pray before we even put in the application. We don't really pray. So, do you feel like sometimes we jump the gun and that's how we end up in a situation like that because we accepted that job out of our flesh instead of praying first?
Sometimes, sometimes, I know how it feels to have that position that I just took a job anyway. And then I had to discover later on that God did not send me there, or God didn't tell me to do that. And then there are times that God did send me to a place, but it was only just to learn something or to learn a certain task, but not to make it a permanent place to make a career out of it because it was a contaminated place. Sometimes it was just for me to just experience the difference between, even though that they offer you something, you have the experience, but go back before God, because a lot of people are not using God as a catalyst. A lot of people are not using God as a place, as a reference before they go in, because a lot of people are not driven by faith, um, indulgencies, I should say. And so I can't say that because they didn't pray before that happened. A lot of people did pray, and they took it and realized this was toxic after they got in there. And a lot of people, based upon, I had to do what I had to do, or from a desperate place, they was like, oh, I got to stomach this, knowing that it's not healthy for the to be there, knowing that there might be a lot of things that goes against their physical health, and this is not good for my back, but I keep enduring this, and it's like, well, listen, this is when I meant by turning up your love for yourself. Hey, I have to love myself enough and trust and believe in myself enough, with the help of God, if people make that as a reference, to say, I'm gonna have to release this, or I'm gonna have to release this, but I'm gonna continue to look to release myself out of this environment because this is not bringing me no nutrition, and it's not promoting me good health. This is not good for me.
Gotcha. Okay. I understand that. So, this is the one I've been waiting on. Describe a healthy relationship with God uh, versus a toxic relationship.
Well, okay. I believe, well, first of all, I don't believe that there's a such thing as a toxic relationship with God. And I had to think about that because when I think about toxicity, toxic relationships with people is different from God. So when I think about it with God, um, first thing that you're in a relationship that's toxic, toxic is anybody that make you feel bad about yourself, which is a big indicator. Anything that makes you feel bad about yourself and don't want to promote the natural, the authentic you is very toxic. And they're there to tear down you and tear down anybody that loves you or respects you. So when you talk about having a relationship with God, God off the top already loves you, and He's already, He already beautifully and wonderfully made you off the top. What He's trying to do is get you to realize that He already in love with you. He's going to always be there for you. He's going to always be your very present help in time of trouble. And so the thing is, what we've come to term is that we've been more toxic in the way we approach Him. Hey, God, I haven't been pure before you, so I haven't been honest with you. And even in return, God is like, I already know that. I'm going to accept you just where you are. Allow me to come in, and I'm going to clean you from the inside out. I'm going to gut you from the inside out. So from that position, I don't think that you can have a toxic relationship um, with God's according to Scripture. Now, how you treat the relationship, I think it can be very toxic because you're not being honest, you're not being upfront. You will not apply the principles and things, and then you want to become religious with it and blame God for stuff that He already owns, that He already foreknew before you got there. And because you're angry with somebody that's already so many steps ahead of you before you was even born, and who created you and created everybody around you. And then that's when I think people become more toxic about the situation and want to add God in it and put a blame on somebody that will never leave you nor forsake you. So He still turns out to bless you because He's gracious, and He still turns out to love you and be merciful, not getting you the things that you do deserve because you've been toxic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if that makes
So
sense.
yeah, it does. It does. So what about someone that let's say you know that they display at certain times that they're living for Christ, but on the other end, they're very toxic. They're that toxic person. You
Okay.
get where I'm going with that?
So they display to what, people or before God?
No, they display to people. I mean, well, God sees everything that we do, but at the
Yes.
same time, let's just say we're in church and we see this person and they just praise and worship and they're just somebody that glorifies Christ, but when you see them in another realm, they're just very toxic. The life
Got
that
it.
they're living is not what you see, when they're inside the four walls of a church.
Got you. And I would just kind of equate that person is more in the flesh. And we talk about a person who's in the flesh. The Bible says that there's no good thing that would dwell in the flesh. Also, in front of God in His presence and His people, that no flesh is going to be glorified inside the sight of God. And so, if they decide to be hypocritical, thinking that they can fool other people because of, like you said, the whole display and the imagery and all of that, it normally wouldn't last long because we should know them by the fruit that they bear. So there's nothing in fruition mode that's going to come out very plentiful if they try to portray these different things as a display. It's already tarnished, and anything
Yeah.
that God wants to get glory out of, now He would definitely put you in a place to let you know that I'm not going to give you any glory in that because of what you want to present before me. And anybody that have any reference and respect for God, you wouldn't just do him any kind of way. But there are people who demonstrate themselves in that manner. And yes, yes, you are a toxic person who wants to be in the place of a portrait, or I should say, portraying these different things. But that's very deceptive. So inside of the flesh, there's a lot of deception because you can deceive people. And if you're trying to reach people in their heart, where the heart is deceitful, because your heart will definitely lie to you. And whoever's been instrumental in their flesh, it won't last a long time.
Yeah. Got it. Got it. So once again, this, it all seems to me basically it determines where we are in life. If we will allow ourselves to be connected to toxic people or allow ourselves to, be in a toxic environment. It basically determines, it mounts up to where we are in our life. But if you are working towards improving yourself, uh, do you believe that this in time will basically pull you away from those toxic relationships, those toxic environments? And can we change other people that still in that environment once we you know create that self-development in our life and we kind of grow out of it? People that we may were connected with in those environments, do you think with them seeing how we grew out of it, is it a chance that they may change as well?
Absolutely. There's a proverb that says that the evil communication corrupts good manners. So it has a lot to do with what you allow yourself, as you were just saying, allow yourself or permit yourself to invest into your personal development. Um, I learned in a previous class about, I'm within a mental and behavior health course and things like that. We have to take a lot of courses, and we talk about how a lot of people feel like, well, this person haven't changed and you haven't changed. Well, naturally, a person is going to change anyway. If you look at your pictures from the time you was a teen and where we are now, you've changed. You changed hair, you change in features, you change in weight. Um, it would be very, very hard to hear that a lot of us are still living at the same address because that has changed. But I do believe that change is definitely inevitable. But development is optional. And
Yeah.
so if you if you take the option to develop into something to be a better person, then yes, that's a great example. So that people can say, I have a living example in front of me, not somebody who's just doing a whole bunch of lip service and people making empty promises and then a lot of things is just been falsely said. But there's a living example that if this person can do it and they are living proof, that then I know that there's a possibility for me to change as well. Now that's what healthy looks like, especially a person who was a very toxic to a lot of different things. It was very, very contaminant. There was a contaminating person because anything that's toxic has a lot of pollutants. It was once before pure, and different agents and stuff was entered in by permission or by ignorance, either one of them,
Yeah.
and it has polluted you to be a different person. And so now we behaving in such a way of carrying different things that is against your natural origin. And so, but once you decide to give yourself permission to grow and make the investment to put the work in there and keep the consistency, and don't beat up yourself that it's not happening fast enough, and then also allowing yourself to do it with right intentions and right motives, because there are a lot of people that just want to show people, I really want to show you what I got, and they spend too much time being flesh and showing other flesh people who don't really care about you no way, but they spend more time with, hey, I'm really doing this for me, and let time work out itself, let time heals, and as time heals it brings a healthy new a whole new rhythm to who you are, and that's a different version of you. That's
Yeah.
evolution.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. You were talking, and it kind of reminded me of something. I heard this years ago, man, years ago, over 10 years ago. You may have heard the story, but it was a pastor at my nephew's homegoing service, and he told this story about how this man, he had this tree that he loved in his backyard, and the tree died, and he was just so hurt that it was dying because he was so attached to that tree. But I guess the soil was contaminated and killed the tree. So it wasn't like a big tree, but like the nice little bushes we have in our yard. But anyway, uh, he cut the tree off, and he had a little stream that ran through his yard, little stream. So he cut the tree off, and he was getting up all of the roots. And one root, he kept pulling it, but every time he pulled it, it snapped back. And his
Wow.
wife comes out, and she looked, and he's pulling it and it's snapping back. And she said, "Look, every time you pull it, you're pulling on that little small tree, that's that little small bush that's growing up on right on the other side of the string
Wow.
as he pulled it." So it had died, but it was a stream of water that ran through his yard, and right on the other side, it was growing new growth. So it died on this side, but it grew on the other. This side was toxic, and when he was trying to chop it down, he didn't even realize that it was growing, new growth on the other side. And it kind of just reminded me of what you was talking about of, how we have to decapitate it at the root in order, if we
Yes.
want to grow. You said earlier about dieting. We have to, cut certain things that we're eating if we want to experience growth, because a lot of that stuff that we're connected to, it stops our growth. It stops us from growing. And
Absolutely.
and people, a lot of people don't realize, you know sometimes it's certain things that we digest, it causes us to act out in different ways that's very toxic. And we got people that love us, and they're looking at us like, what is going on with him? I can't believe he's acting that way, but it's something that we're connected to that's toxic, that's causing us to act like that. But as soon as we start to diet from it, and we feel lighter, our mindset, our mind opens up, and we have the positive vibes in our mindset versus the negative vibes. That's when we're able to see better. Our vision becomes brighter, and we're able to see the different things that we can do moving ahead versus, toxic stuff. It blurs our vision. And a lot of
Yes.
times we can't even see ourselves what we're doing because we're blinded by it. I talked about it at the event a few weeks ago. All blindness is not physical. Sometimes it's mental. And,
Absolutely.
we just let our mindset take us there where we trust and believe that some of the things that we're doing, we try to condone a lot of the stuff that we're doing. No, it's toxic and we need to decapitate it out of our lifeline in order for us to grow.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a lot of people, um, unfortunately, they were born into a lot of toxicity. So when you begin to talk about health and you talk about love, you begin to talk about God and being a professional, a lot of people will begin to rebel against things because whatever that you kind of been born into, there's a sense of loyalty, and you have to learn to say, I have to grow up into a place within myself to say, I think I need to do some detachments from family and friends. I'm reminded a Bible scripture for those of you who like Bible. When Abraham, he was told to, hey, get up out of your country, leave your kinfolks, all your people of kind people, and you need to leave them, because he could not grow much further until he left those environments. Just like a lot of us had to leave certain environments, residential environments, neighborhoods, jobs, and things like that, because it was too contaminated. And it's very, very hard to grow in places that is already diseased and sick. And we
Yeah.
don't know that
Yeah.
because we can't help the parents that we have. We can't help the siblings that we have, the ones that we have, or maybe some that we don't have. So there's some things that we cannot help, and then we cannot even change the past. But what we can do is say, hey, I'm going to make a conscious decision. I need to make this executive decision, and I need to stick my hand out, as I see a lot in a lot of my counseling sessions, and just take courage. You need to take courage, because it takes a courage to say, I'm going to cut off the umbilical cord of anything that I was attached to, so I can be, I could be very, 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 very adventurous in where I need to go, so I can give myself a chance, because love gives. And that's why,
Yeah.
love, which is why I kept saying, we have to turn up our love life. Love gives, God gives. And, so even relationships, for so many years, Brother Eric, a lot of people kept saying, hey, in relationships, we should be giving and taking, and that's dysfunctional. And I realized I had to stop saying that, because in relationships, that's very healthy. It's give and give. I'm giving, you're giving.
Yeah.
If I'm
Right.
doing all the giving, you're doing all the taking, is one-sided. And somebody's going to come up short. You're going to have disappointments. And whenever you have disappointments, it's because you have unrealistic expectations or broken expectations. But when there's a lot of giving going on, give yourself a chance. Give yourself grace. God says, hey, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son to give somebody a chance again. John 3:16. So whenever there's a lot of giving going on, now it's to the point we're laughing because, hey, I gave you a gift. I gave you a gift, not contingent upon favors, not so I can get them back, not the immature stuff. But whenever there's a conscious effort to give to each other, then you can eliminate any toxins that can come in, because it's coming from a pure, founded place. You have to be able to give.
Right.
Love gives. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I totally agree. Totally agree. So, yeah, and in our closing, if there's someone on this, that's listening, what advice would you give to listeners who are currently experiencing toxicity in their life, and they're trying to figure out how to get out of it?
My advice to you, for any listener, that you could pass some definitely, or you could just embrace for yourself, is it is okay to identify, yes, you've been in a place that it has not been good for you. You have not been supported. It's been very polluted. And just know that as much as it may feel like you are ashamed or you are embarrassed about that, just know that there's another side of hope to that you can tap into. There's another side of healthy relationships that does exist. And there's a level of love that people do carry that can definitely produce and pull you out of that place, to know that, hey, there's a better part of you that you have to just bet on, take a stance, step out on the faith, take a chance, just take that risk that you can do something different, because you don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay in a place that's more sick and more at a disadvantage to you. So reach out to people that are healthy, and there are resources that are out there that can give you classes and facilitation that can tell you about what healthy looks like. Besides the ones who are poisoning you, and saying that they mean great to you. So love is the key. Healthy is the
Mhm.
key, and you can be healed. There's healing available for you, and it is not too late.
Yeah, yeah. I had Ashley on a few weeks ago, and she said, and I had never heard it that way. She was like, if you want to be healthy, you have to heal first. She was like, it's plain and simple. If you look at the word healthy, you have to heal before you can be healthy. And
Correct.
I had never heard that way, and I was like, man, you're absolutely right. In order to heal, in order to be healthy, you have to heal first.
Absolutely.
And definitely love love yourself, because if you love yourself enough, you're not going to play second fiddle. You're not going to allow yourself to live less than what God has anointed you, to live.
Right.
He's All of us are anointed. Unfortunately, so many of us, we miss our calling. We miss what our purpose is in life. But I'm a firm believer that every one of us has been anointed. Unfortunately, a lot of us have to go back and get re-dipped again. And some of us, we never experience it. But if you can realize that you are, and you just take the time to hear from him, you can live one of the best lives that you ever thought you would live. Will there be storms? Yes. But just because we're living on the foundation of him, we all know that storms they're temporarily. They don't last
Correct.
forever.
Correct. It's just a
And
season.
yeah, it's season, and life becomes so much smoother, man. But unfortunately, so many people, they miss it. They miss it. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I love what Miss Tarleton said. Love gives. Don't be afraid to remove yourself. No explanation is needed. Then see how healthy you will be. I love that.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love and the truth. I will also say that the truth would definitely make you free, and the truth doesn't hurt. A lot of people used to say, "Would the truth hurt if I share this in love?" And I don't believe, brother Eric, that God is going around hurting people. I don't believe that the truth hurts. I believe that the truth is there to liberate you from the lies and the different myths and this thing that is not spoken. That's what hurts, because you had one belief all of these years, and the truth comes to make you free from. That's the part that you're feeling. But healing is there so you can walk into a healed person, and then healthy as a lifestyle would manifest.
Yeah. 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 And you're right. The truth hurts. The truth definitely hurts. But if your deliverance has a lot of compassion and a lot of buffer on it, you know, sometimes when we deliver a message that way to people that needs to be, broken so they can upgrade their life, if we deliver that message with a lot of compassion, with a lot of buffers around it, they sometimes take that out. Okay, it's okay. If I continue to do what I'm doing, I'll be okay. But when you throw that tough love in there, you know, because a lot of times for me, that's what definitely was, the heart of my change.
Correct.
Tough
Okay.
love. My sister gave me tough love. My mom gave me tough love. And of course, sometimes we be like, oh, they don't love me. If they did, they wouldn't be talking to me that way. But for real, no, you done
Yes.
messed up so many times. Ain't nobody gonna sugarcoat nothing.
No.
If you want to get out of this toxic environment, this is what you need to do. And stop saying, after this, I'm gonna change. No, change today.
Correct.
Change today. Tomorrow is not promised to you. You need to change
Absolutely.
today. So
Absolutely.
yeah, we talked about the relationships and all of that, and that's why sometimes you have people that they just chop it right at the root, and they'd be like, I'm not even bothering with them. If until they show me that they have changed, I'm not even going in that area, because it's okay that we forgive people that we was in that environment with, but if they're still there, no, it's no need to even try to see if that relationship, because it's not going to be healthy.
No, it's not
going to be healthy, because if you didn't grew out of it and they still in it, they real sour by now,
Right.
and the jealousy comes in because you think you better than me now. So no, I don't think I'm better than you. You still in a toxic environment that I care not to be in. So yeah.
Correct. And most people only use the word jealousy only because they see progression on you. They see advancement on you, and what they versus them celebrating what it took and what it would take to even get this progression going. Then the jealousy kicks in. But you're right about that. This whole healthy thing has a lot to do with a person just making a decision to say, let me see what areas around me that is not healed. And usually the areas that is not healed is places that people ignored and they don't want to face. So sometimes, you may have a coward approach. You might just coward out of it. You would shy away from it, which shyness is a level of pride, because you don't want nobody to see the revealed weakness that's behind it. So you shy from it, which is a level of pride. And so, it's tough. It's tough, but it's built for tough people that will have a tough, lasting thing. And I do like what the audience said about some stuff. You have to be very abrupt, because it doesn't matter how much you explain yourself, it's not enough. So cold turkey, as they say, you have to make those abrupt things so you can finally bring an end to that long drawn out story and have a different narrative and move on from there and begin your healing process.
Definitely.
I really appreciate this
yes,
subject
sir.
tonight. I really appreciate it.
Man,
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming on and dissecting this topic, man. I knew it wasn't going to be nothing short of great. Just excited. Glad to be connected with you.
Likewise. Thank you.
I know, we will be, doing more things in the future together. So I'm just excited to be connected with you. Real quick, before we
Yes.
chime off, you are an author of not just one, but a few books. Talk about those books real quick.
Oh,
see, y'all learned something. I told you, always have them books ready. I like that.
well, you've been very instrumental. Now, Speechless Conversation is definitely a book read. It's definitely a deep situation. It's just in poetry form, but the delivery is very good, because I talk about a myriad variety of different subject matters, from relationships, from heartbreak to victory, to just a form of thought. So you can find CortezDSims.com. This right here is Quotes on Napkins. It's 114 quotes that's of snacks of inspiration that would definitely inspire you, and something that you could pass along and let people know that, hey, I got a quote from you. So I just thought about it, write a book of quotes and stuff, and I really love these. And Qualified but Not Preferred is considered a self-help book, but it's a book of realizations to let you know and to encourage you, hey, you are qualified and you are preferred, even though you've been treated. So you're going to discover how much that a lot of us as people, and we've been counted out, overlooked, underrated, underappreciated, and not really protected. But God says that you have been qualified and preferred because of Him. There's another book that I don't have yet that's on Amazon that's called Blessed Sons. I realized it just came out today, Brother Eric. So you told me to promote this, and
Okay.
and it's called Blessed Sons. So it's blessings plus lessons. It's Blessed Sons, BLESSONS, and it's on Amazon.com right now as we speak. You can go and check it out, and that's simply, it's been inspired by Life Classrooms. So I decided to write up a whole year of weekly encouragement words that you can get a lesson from every week and meditate on it that will cover the whole year. So you guys got to check that out. That's going to be really, really something. So I'm excited about these books. Thank you for that.
Definitely. So we can go to Amazon, and are we typing in Dr. Cortez Sims?
Yes. And you should see all 4 books. Definitely.
Okay. So let me plug this real quick.
And then it's on my website too that you can get directly all four of them as well, which is
Well, let's do that.
www.cortezsims.com.
Dr. Cortez Sims.
.com. It's on the
Because
website
if you're
as well.
because if you're like me, I appreciate the Amazon purchases, but I like when you go to my site because it's first of all, we get to sign the books before we send them off to you. We can't do that at Amazon, but we can sign the books, and then I'm sure you do like I do. I have a few goodies that I send you, when you purchase my book. So you get more for your buck when you purchase on the website versus Amazon. So definitely,
Absolutely.
go to his website, Dr. Cortez dsims.com, and purchase those books. I had the honor of hearing him talk about, a lot of stuff in a few of his books, and they're amazing. So go and get it. Go and get it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tapping in on this Wednesday and chiming in with us. I appreciate you all. I see we have a lot of first timers here. I'm sure you brought your entourage with you. So thank you guys so much for chiming in.
Thank
but
you
hey,
everyone for coming in too. Yes, thank you all. Everyone.
definitely. But for all of you that chimed in, don't let this be the last time. I'm here starting next week. We'll be on Tuesdays, but yeah, we're here every week, and we basically talk. It's LifeStruction, and we talk about all of those life building tools that we can add to our life. So we always have great guests like Dr. Sims to come on, and they just kind of dissect different topics. We've had stuff all the way from credit to buying a home, people that's bounced back from domestic relationships where one lady, she was on life support, and she was able to, and that was her ground zero, where she knew she had to decapitate the root and get out of that toxic relationship, because the grave was going to be the next chapter of her life, the end chapter. So I mean, we have some great stuff, great people that come on and just talk about their life, a tragedy, and how they pretty much bounce back better. So definitely you guys feel free to come on every week and chime in. If you know of a guest that you think would be a great fit, send them over my way. Have them email me, inbox me, or what have you. I'll be happy to have them on. Follow me on social media. I'm on all platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. All platforms is at LifeStruction with Eric. So definitely follow me on that. And yeah, we definitely appreciate all of you. And once again, Doctor, I know your time is very valuable. So I thank you, applaud you for dissecting this topic today, man. It was great.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you.
Brother Eric Winfield, thank you for being who you are, and thank you for every opportunity. My friends who are tapping in, and I'm sure they're going to share for us and promote your page as well. Thank you for all the exposure. It's really helping us. We're trying to build and help this community with your LifeStruction. So thank you for that. Thank you for your obedience. Incredible job. And he's a fantastic author too. We got a chance to see him too. So I'm telling the people about you too as well. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But yes, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. And yeah, until next week, you guys be blessed. And remember, don't let nobody steal your joy. Don't let nobody steal your smile. Wake up every day, armor up, smile from the heart, and I guarantee you, you'll walk into a room, a dead room, a room that's toxic, and you will change the whole vibe of the entire room, you know. But at the end of the day, love yourself and be you. And if there's anything in your life that's eating at your growth, what are we going to do? Diet from it.
Diet.
Love you guys. Have a great rest of your week and be blessed.